This video is going to be a quick review of significant figures. The first thing that you need to be able to do is determine how much significant figures are in a number. So for example, let's say we have the number 932. How many significant figures are there in this number? Every non-zero number is automatically considered a significant figure, so there's 3 significant figures in this number. Another example is 4,672 and has 4 significant figures. Now let's say if we have a 0 in between 2 non-zero numbers, is that 0 significant? All zeros between 2 non-zero numbers will be significant, so 609 will have 3 significant figures counting the 0. 6009 will have 4 significant figures since the zeros are in between 2 non-zero numbers. Now, what about numbers to the right of a non-zero number, like 800? How many significant figures are there in this number? It all depends on if there's a decimal point or not. If we do not have a decimal point, the zeros to the right, which are called trailing zeros, are not significant. So this would be only 1 significant figure. In 800, in a decimal after, the trailing zeros are gonna be counted as significant figures. Same with 800.0, there's going to be 4 significant figures since there is a decimal point. Now, what about the zeros to the left of a number? Ahead of the 95 are leading zeros. So these are never significant. So when the zeros are in front of non-zero numbers, leading zeros, they don't count. Same with the next equation. The 3 zeros are leading in front of the non-zero numbers. Therefore, 836 are the only ones that are significant. So to review, let's try this example. How many significant figures are in this number? So looking at the leading zeros, remember, the leading zeros are not significant. The zeros that are in between the 2 non-zero numbers, 6 and 8, are always significant, so we're counting that. And the trailing zero, it does count as a significant number because there's a decimal point in the number. No matter where it is, there is a decimal point, meaning that all trailing zeros will be significant. So if we count 60830, in total, it's going to be 5 significant figures. Now I'm going to give you guys a quiz and determine how much significant figures are in each number. Okay, let's go ahead and begin. So first we have 0.79, and how much significant figures does it have? So the 0 in the leading zero in the front of the number, remember, never counts, so we only count the 2 non-zero numbers, which is 7 and 9. So this number has 2 significant figures. Next we have 917.10. So we count all the non-zero numbers, 9171, and the 0 at the end of the equation we're also going to count. It's the trailing 0, which means it's going to count if there's a decimal in the number, which there is. So in total, it's going to be 5 significant figures. Then we have 72,000. So we're counting the non-zero numbers, 7 and 2. That's 2 significant figures. And the trailing zeros behind them, they do not count because there's no decimal in the number. So there's only 2 significant figures. Next we have 0.00703, so the 7 and 3 automatically count because they're non-zero numbers. Then we have a 0 in between 2 non-zero numbers, which is going to be significant, as we discussed before. The 3 zeros in front of the 703 are leading zeros, which means they never count. They even if there's a decimal point, they do not count, leaving us with 703 as our significant figures, being 3. Then we have 4,250. So 4 to 5 count because they're non-zero numbers, and the 0 at the end is a trailing 0 without a decimal point. So it's going to be 3 significant figures. Then we have similar situation, 503, they're going to count, and then 0 in between is also going to count because it's in between two non-zero numbers, and the trailing zeros have a decimal point, so the whole number counts.